I don't ever want to criticize a young prospect's NHL career to be, or even their NHL status to be. But this right here is kinda nuts. It seems a lot like a pity move, and we gotta talk about it. Yeah, it's almost 7 a.m. in the morning. 7 a.m. waking up in the morning, gotta go down, gotta get downstairs, whatever the lyric is, but I still have not slept because there's so much stuff to go over. Because not only did we see the St. Louis Blues officially signing Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg because the Oilers did not match the offer sheet, but in a separate transaction, Edmonton acquires a 2028 third-round pick and the rights to defenseman Paul Fischer from the St. Louis Blues. The trade was posted onto the St. Louis Twitter account too. Trade alert! St. Louis receives nothing! Edmonton receives Paul Fischer and a third. This is the NHL trade equivalent of a thank you card. And I think that this is a pity trade, full stop, no questions about it, because when you think about the guy that was sent over to Edmonton in this situation, Paul Fischer, look, I'm not going to go out there and disrespect the guy, but this prospect does not really move the needle all too much. And look, we gotta go out there and describe why. Before we do this, though, I wanted to read a little bit more about just this right here. So, if you think of this entire trade that just went down as a little thank you, a greeting card from the St. Louis Blues to the Edmonton Oilers, you could realistically compile everything into saying St. Louis receives Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway. Edmonton receives Paul Fischer, a second and 2/3. Does that make sense? Right? That's kind of how it's labeled out here if you added the offer sheet and the compensation into this trade. Because Paul Fischer, unfortunately, just isn't really a guy that moves the needle all too much. 138th overall pick in the 2023 NHL Draft, 6'1", 201-pound left-handed defenseman out of River Forest, Illinois, in the U.S. He's a steady defensive presence, bringing a tight gap, proactive threat elimination, and physicality. He leverages his frame to ride guys out while defending the rush. He doesn't fall for slips or dangles and rubs guys out before making a... I'm so immature. Ay, this is why I'm never going to be a professional hockey analyst, baby. He rubs guys out before making a simple but effective exit pass. Yeah, okay. There is a better way to word that, elite prospects. I am so sorry. They said it twice, too. He leverages his frame to ride guys out. Okay, that's a little bit better. But then later on, yeah, he rubs guys out. Okay, we're going to leave it at that. This player, Paul Fischer, scored himself 21 points in 56 games with the NTDP last season, and this season he played for the University of Notre Dame, had 16 points in 34 games played as a freshman. Not really in the best program in comparison to some of the other NCAA schools that boast NHL projectable talent, and not really the most flashy guy either. More of a defensive force that was drafted by St. Louis. So, for the Edmonton Oilers, they're getting themselves a younger defenseman, I guess, to replace the roster spot for Philip Broberg if Ty Emberson did not go out there and already do that. It's just Paul Fischer, of course, is not really at that level yet. He is still an NCAA product, and I don't really think he's got NHL projectability within the next, 2 years or so. This really does feel more like a prospect that is going to finish out his entire 4-year stint with the NCAA, and then either he signs with the Oilers and makes an impact there, or he becomes a free agent and yeets off to wherever it is that he wants to go. This doesn't really seem like the guy to make that transition right away, although if he does, then hey, I'm happy to be proven wrong. We always want to see guys subvert their expectations in a positive way and build the best out of their careers, right? So, for this guy, Paul Fischer, and a third-round pick, to get sent over to Edmonton for nothing, it's the ultimate thank you card, and I don't really think anybody's going to go out there and disagree with it. I mean, some of the comments are pretty funny here. Let's go out there and read these. Kicking them in the nuts and saying no hard feelings. Yeah, that's essentially what Doug Armstrong is doing. Hey, you're pissed off about our guys leaving your organization? Okay, well, here's a third-round pick and a random prospect we got last year. Oh man, is that disrespectful? I don't know. Is it really? Left-handed D Paul Fischer is an unsigned 5th-round pick from 2023. The Blues are currently at 53 out of 50 contracts according to Puckpedia. Puckpedia counts players that they shouldn't be counting. I blame the Caps for any wrong info. Yeah, I don't know, man. Just on a side note, I haven't really been vibing much with the Puckpedia transition so far. I mean, it's the main website that everybody uses, right? Because now that Cap Friendly is gone, we got no choice. But there are a few other options, more underground options that have been slowly seeping their way into the spotlight too. We might have to make a bit of a transition there because Puckpedia just, it lacks a lot of the tools that Cap Friendly did. Either way, this is like not related to the conversation at all. Sorry for taking your girl. Here's my aunt. That's funny, dude. What the hell? Nasty, nasty work. Interesting. The pay us to not match a strategy worked a little bit. Okay, I definitely don't think that was the case here. I don't think the St. Louis Blues spoke up to the Edmonton Oilers and were like, hey, can you not match this? And then Edmonton was like, okay, if we don't match it, you give us Paul Fischer and a 3rd. I feel like this was just a pity thing. Like, hey, here you go. You're pissed off. Here. Take this pacifier there. Stan Bowman. I almost said Ken Holland. No, sorry, wrong GM. Let's go back over onto the Reddit thread over here. Oilers, well, I guess we got those 2 picks. Not bad, I guess. But wait, there's more. Here's some free stuff. I'm not going to go out there and discredit Paul Fischer by calling him that. An odd one. Why are the Blues throwing in a 3rd rounder for nothing? It is 4 years from now, to be fair. Yeah, that's true as well. I mean, the draft pick is in the 3rd round of the 2028 NHL Entry Draft, so it doesn't really seem like this is the most valuable pick that is getting swapped around there in a post-offer sheet depression trade. Let's finalize the rest of this thread here to get to 8 minutes. Paul Fischer is going to win 18 Norris trophies. Nah, no hard feelings. Pretty good movie, honestly. I had a good time with that. Jennifer Lawrence was pretty great. Off-season saved. Broberg who? 2028, better than nothing? Yeah, so I think a lot of Oilers fans are coming into this with a bit of a positive attitude. I think a lot of people sort of recognized that the, oh, I'm sorry card. A lot of people kind of recognized that the offer sheets were not going to get matched, so just seeing a little bit of a thank you, a little bit of a token of appreciation from the St. Louis Blues. Not that they needed to do this, but I guess if there were some sort of, I don't know, movements around, things could have been a little bit different here. But either way, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Paul Fischer and a 3rd in 2028 getting sent over to the Edmonton Oilers for nothing. It's a big thank you in advance trade from St. Louis. A pity trade, if I've ever seen a pity trade. Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.